Hi, welcome to the notes for 10-2. Today we're going to look at solving more equations and we're going to focus on fraction busters, as we call them. So we're going to have fractional coefficients in our equations, and I know a lot of us don't like fractions, so we're going to practice getting rid of the fractions and making the equations easier to solve. So here we go. Example number one, you see we have 3 plus 1/4 x equals 23. Okay, so if we think about this, right, we have the coefficient 1/4, but if I wrote each of the other values as fractions, it'd be like 3 over 1 and 23 over 1. Okay, so I'm going to show you kind of the steps that we use to get rid of our fractions. So the first step we'll look at here says, find the least common multiple of the denominators. So we're going to look for a number that 4 and 1 both go into, right? And if you think about that, that one's not a very difficult one, right? Both 4 and 1 go into 4, so our least common multiple would be 4. So we're going to take our equation and we're going to do our second step, which says multiply all the tops by the least common multiple. So I'm going to multiply everything on both sides by 4. So I'm going to do 4 times 3, which is going to give me 12, right? And right now I'm over 1, plus I'm going to do 4 times 1 here, which is going to give me 4. That's still going to be over 4, and then we have our x, and then that should equal, when we multiply 4 times 23, we should get, I think, 92. So we get 92 still over 1. Remember, you don't multiply, when you're multiplying fractions, you only multiply numerators times numerators. You're not going to multiply that 4 times any of the denominators. Now when we look at what we have here, if we simplify, 12 divided by 1 is really the same thing as 12. We have 4 divided by 4 is 1, and times x would leave us with just 12 plus x. And on the other side, we have 92. So now this just becomes a much simpler equation to work with. We're just isolating x, so we'll just subtract 12 from each side. And what we end up with is x equals 80. So to check it, right, we can always just take it and plug it in. We'll say, hey, let's check it here real quick, make sure that we're correct. 3 plus 1/4 times 80 should equal 23. Well, 1/4 of 80, right? If think about it as like 80 divided by 4, that's going to give us 20. And we get 3 plus 20 equals 23. So we know that this checks out, that we are correct. Okay, so that's example number 1.